Let me tell you of the days of high adventure.
Hello, everybody. I'm Kevin.
And I'm John.
And this is 6 Degrees of Schwarzenegger, the podcast where we take a long, hard look back at some of our favorite action movies from the era of Arnold.
Schwarzenegger is the icon of the genre, friends, and we're taking a deep dive into some of these 80s and 90s cult action movies and breaking them all the way down. How you feeling, baby?
I'm feeling great, man. I just threw back a shot of
delicious
American Spirit whiskey. That's a local Atlanta distillery, and now I am chasing it with Terrapin's Recreation Ale, a nice little session IPA from Terrapin, our friends out in Athens, Georgia. Shout out Athens.
Way to go.
What do you got over there?
I'm drinking from Dansville, Kentucky, Wilderness Trail single barrel straight bourbon whiskey.
Are they all like a micro distillery? Or are they?
They are not one of the major ones, but even the, like the Basil Hayden and all those guys, they're just like the upscale brands of distilleries that do, like Dickel and that stuff like that. So they've got their like bottom shelf and then their top shelf. But I think that these guys are their own deal.
Yeah. Sounds tasty. I'm going to have a glass at some point.
You're more than welcome to, my friend.
We're back here to talk a little bit more about Running Man.
1987 masterpiece of shit.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, like this was during his meteoric climb.
That's right.
He was on his way to the top. He had Predator. I think he had probably wrapped Predator, but Predator had not come out yet when he went to go make this. And there was such a discrepancy of quality between Predator and this film.
Yeah, this movie feels a lot cheaper in every conceivable way.
It's like, and you watch Predator and it still feels like a current movie.
Absolutely.
Like it doesn't feel dated and played out. And then you watch this and it feels very dated.
Absolutely. 100%.
It's just strange to me.
Yeah.
So I will try to catch us up a little bit on what happened in part one.
Hit it.
Before we dig in. So Arnold Schwarzenegger plays the character of Ben Richards. He was a military helicopter pilot. He was ordered to kill a bunch of civilians, but he refused. He was arrested, sent to prison camp, where he escaped along with his friends Laughlin and Weiss. He's trying to just escape and flee town. He's gone to try to find his brother, who has apparently been taken away by the police. And Maria Conchita Alonso has moved into his old apartment. That's Amber. So now he's taking Amber hostage.
Like you do.
Meanwhile, the Running Man show, hottest show in the world, they are worried that their ratings have plateaued and they need to find some new exciting contestant to come on the show. What the premise of the show is basically hunting inmates or convicts for sport.
That's right. And killing them, hopefully. And people love it. People lose their minds over it.
That's where we're at. There's a resistance also, an underground resistance that's trying to bring down the government.
Right. And they invited Richards to join, but he declined because he's like, no, thanks. I don't want to get involved in politics. And sort of accuse those guys of being unwilling to take proper action to do anything about all this. So we pick up in this episode with ICS headquarters. The production team for Running Man's going through inmates and political prisoners looking for good candidates to appear on the show. And Killian is not happy because no one's formidable enough to take on the stalkers. And so here's
did you see there was a mugshot of a baby in they're sorting through it like Apollo Creed when he was looking for opponents in the first Rocky. But there was a fucking baby in there. He's like Babyface something. Was the name. I wonder what the crime was that baby had done.
And we learned that the main like gladiators on the show, if you remember American Gladiators, are called stalkers. So Killian's not happy because none of them are going to work except the one guy who could work. He's the sort that the neighbors say he's such a quiet man.
I think he had killed his wife and his mother-in-law or something like that.
Oh my God, it's so amazing.
Richard Dawson as Killian. This performance is so good. He's like so funny, but also jerky at the same time. It's just, it's legendary.
It's a villain that you really enjoy because he's like we've talked about before, because you can tell he's enjoying being evil.
He's just over the top.
Yeah. Like a truck, like a machine, like a truck. It's at that point that Killian sees Richards on the news and immediately is, hello, gorgeous.
He's like, hello, gorgeous.
Look at that mother move. And he tells,
look at that mother move.
His lackey, Tony, tells Killian that it's Ben Richards and that he's currently on the lam, and Killian says that he's the perfect contestant. And he makes a call to pull some strings. He's like, I can get 10 points for his biceps alone. And
that's weird. Like, he acts like his call is going to increase the efforts to find Richards or something. Like, if I make a call, it's like, are they not trying to find him with everything they've got already? I don't know.
But I love that the call that he places is to Justice Department Entertainment Division. Doesn't that feel like real life right now?
Oh, yeah. And 100%. Then he's like, wait a second. He's like, then he changes it up and he asks for the president's agent.
Oh my God.
I think, it's very much like
in the era of Donald Trump, that it feels like real life.
Well, I'm wondering what is the system that's in place now? There's this it seems like Cadre or Cadre a company?
So International Cadre Systems.
That's ICS. Okay.
Yeah, ICS is a company, but I feel like it's the government run media. It's the state media is what I gather.
Okay. Because but they seem like there's Cadre Cola. There's all this various things, but they sort of are running all industry and they're run by the government.
Exactly.
I guess. Okay. So, it was a weird scene in that room.
Yeah, for sure.
The assistant was sort of following Killian around with that tray of food, like full of chicken nuggets or something. Spinelli Thorson's in there, like chowing down. And it's just the dynamic is odd. The dynamic was odd.
And I need a snack after this. So meanwhile, back at Edward Richards Amber's apartment. Right? Richards has gotten Amber bound to some workout equipment, and she's trying to explain that she works for ICS Network as a composer, which is kind of cool. Richards is looking through all her things and finds a bunch of contraband items that she has hidden, including some CDs and stuff. Yeah. And we learn that he's planning to use Amber's identity to flee to Hawaii because that's a pretty bitchin' place to hide out.
She was very chatty.
Yeah, right.
Like for a hostage, she was just like, she was talking more than him probably.
Yeah, 100%. And I love that he rips, in classic Arnold styles, like ripping the seat out of Cindy's car. He rips the workout equipment out of the floor to intimidate her into obeying him because I'm going to say please.
Well, he books, so he steals Amber's travel pass or whatever it is. And he books some trip to Hawaii using something that's like sort of internet-like.
Right.
It's, when she resists, he says, you're coming with me. And when she sort of says, I don't think so, he just rips that shit right out of the floor.
Classic Arnold. They make it to the airport and they get through security with an obvious ruse. I can practically taste those pina coladas already.
That security wasn't shit, man. It
was a different time even then.
At the 2017 TSA, he lets them swipe the travel pass thing, which apparently doesn't even, all you need to do is be holding a pass.
That's right.
It doesn't have a photo or anything like this.
Just the badge.
But then they've only got the one. So he's criticizing Amber, saying, what did you put it in your purse again? It's like everything she puts in here gets lost. The line is getting rowdy behind. Like people are going to miss their flights.
I love the people.
That woman
freaking out. Yeah.
But then security dude is like, all right, just come on through. Like,
sweet.
Damn. All right.
2017 was a different time also.
Again, Ben Richards has a very strange idea of inconspicuous clothing.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know what it means to like be like on the down low at
Where
all.
do you think he even got those clothes from? He's wearing a big sort of straw like Panama hat and a very loud turquoise Hawaiian print shirt. White pleated pants, I think.
Where did they stop maybe on the way and he like made her come into a dressing room with him, or they stopped at a store and he just grabbed what he could and put it on somewhere?
It is almost the type of stuff you might find in the store in the airport.
That's a good point. Maybe he went just like, the duty free store.
But it is not the type of thing you wear to blend in. No. Sunglasses inside.
And he even comments on it when she tried the air sickness bit. She's like, I'm going to throw up all over you. And he said, go ahead. It won't show on this shirt. It's kind of awesome.
There was a lot of Adidas in this movie.
Yeah.
As they're walking through the crowded airport, there was like a team of athletes all wearing Adidas
it's
or
like
something.
An over the top Adidas big everywhere.
Product
like
placement, man.
Like a truck over the top.
Monetize everything.
That's right. And then in a moment of distraction, Amber punches Richards in the balls and screams for help. Richards runs like hell, makes a John Matrix type escape out onto the airport tarmac.
A Mike Cutler type.
That's right. Amber, at this point, we cut over to Amber and she seems conflicted about the whole thing, but this is some good stunt work with that net. And it seems like Arnold probably did some of that himself, because he gets up and he looks kind of worse for wear. He's like got some strawberries or whatever on his elbows.
Do you think he really took that fall? I bet that was the stunt man.
I don't know, man. That looks so much like Arnold to me.
Yeah.
That I feel like that maybe he did that one himself.
Interesting. I'm going to watch frame by frame.
I hope that it was him, because it's a way, if it's a stunt guy, it's a way better stunt guy than they had in Commando.
Yeah, the dude who's his stunt man was in this movie and in 14 of his movies really looks like him.
Maybe it was a stunt man then.
It might have been, and we'll talk about it later. But if you remember in Twins, when Arnold first shows up to see DeVito in jail, and this guy comes walking out. This other big jacked up inmate that looks like a spitting image of Arnold, and Arnold's like, oh, this must be him. And then he walks past.
Oh,
that's the guy.
Interesting.
That's his stunt double.
Oh man, Twins is going to be a good one when we get around to Twins.
Oh my gosh.
So good.
I will fucking cream my pants for Twins.
Tonight's your night, bro.
What was weird, this was another Commando type moment. As soon as Richards was captured on the tarmac, like you said, Amber looked conflicted immediately. Like, what's up with the instant remorse? Like, it's the same as when Cindy dimed out Matrix in the mall and then is instantly like trying to help him.
Yeah, no one knows. Yeah,
it's
because
strange.
There's no daughter angle in this one. Yeah, we don't know why she's feeling badly about it. Maybe because she just sees like the brutal treatment, that she wasn't expecting that he'd be taken out like that aggressively. Who knows?
Or that maybe he just ran out. He didn't like try to take other hostages or do anything crazy. Like he's just running. Like maybe he's not a butcher.
Maybe it seems over the top.
like a truck. So Richards he wakes up and he's sort of been brought before Killian, who tells him, "Hi, cutie pie," which is a strange opening line.
I love it.
Interesting.
It's so slammy.
But yeah, Dawson was just enjoying doing what he's doing. And then I think he's like, "Do you know who I am?"
"You're the asshole on TV."
and I like that. Killian is like, "That's funny. I was going to say the same thing about you."
Yeah, Killian says, "I saw the video of your prison break. Sensational." And that's the first time we get like his, like, that's his word for this whole movie. Sensational.
That's one way to put it. But he was taken by watching Arnold run.
Salivating
Look at
the
that
footage.
Mother move.
Yeah.
I could get 10 points for his biceps alone. Right. I love all that stuff. He was jacked up for this, but he's sort of buttering Richards up a little bit,
as much as you can in this situation, for sure.
He's telling him, you've got talent, you've got charisma, you've got balls, and I was like, yes, I guess, as far as it goes. But also, I feel like that is a perfect summary for the man, Arnold himself.
Oh, going a little meta there.
I think so, yeah. There's some meta touches on this movie.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, I feel like when Arnold is your leading man, you can't help but be a little meta about everything, because you're not going to get a layered performance from Arnold in most cases.
I'm trying to think if I've ever seen a layered performance out of him. Not in this era in his career.
No,
that's for sure.
I was going to say maybe in End of Days. What was the cloning movie? What was that one? The Sixth Day.
That movie, I tried to rewatch that. Oh my gosh, that was horrible. You know what? You're going to laugh at me.
I feel like we went and saw that movie together.
We may have.
Sixth Day in the theater.
I think I liked it in the theater, okay, but when I watched it again, it did not hold up.
Right.
Now, you're going to laugh at me for this.
Probably. I guarantee.
Kindergarten Cop. He's also got this tortured thing about how he screwed up with his family and he misses his son.
Yeah, that's true.
And he's the tough guy. For
sure. I'll give you that one, especially because at the beginning, like the transformation that he goes from like tough beat detective to having to play the believable role of the teacher, and then also the romantic chemistry that he had. And I just had to look this up because I've totally blanked on her name, but with Penelope Ann Miller. It was good. He was believable.
That was one of his better performances up until then.
Definite layers in that one.
Did you ever watch that one he put out more recently in the last 5 years, the one called Sabotage?
No, I did not. I haven't seen an Arnold movie, except I haven't seen any of the new Terminator movies. Only the one, not the one with, oh fuck, what's his name?
Nick Stahl? Or you mean the one with what is that fuck's name? The one where the
dude was in Avatar. That one. Where he's like the new edition of the Terminator. Yeah. I saw that one. That was the last one that I saw in the theater.
Okay, and I don't even think Arnold was in that one.
No, just they did
that
like
was the one with
weird
Christian
CG. Bale? I think so, yeah. I saw that one.
Okay.
Christian Bale.
I get them all confused. No,
there's so many of them now, man. It's like
there are, and
too
there's
many to keep track of.
I know, they're really wrecking that. The last one that came out, it was okay. But this movie Sabotage, it was like just a dark, sort of gritty movie set in Atlanta, which is interesting.
Hey, all right.
But it was set in Atlanta by someone who clearly had not spent a lot of time in Atlanta, because it was all about like sort of Breaking Bad type cartel violence and stuff. And I'm like, that's not really Atlanta.
You've never been to Atlanta.
Yeah, but the movie was kind of good, and Schwarzenegger kind of had depth.
All right.
Dude, did you ever see Killing Gunter?
No.
Do you know that movie?
No.
It was Killian, what's that? Oh no, Taron Killam from SNL.
Okay.
Sort of a comedy, a hitman comedy.
Okay.
Gunter is Arnold. He's like this legendary hitman, and just other people are trying to find him and kill him.
When was that?
It was also within the last 5 years. It's fucking hysterical. Yeah, right. I would say check that one out. Put it on your long list.
Is Sabotage worth checking out, or is it just just an example of?
It's worth checking out because it's something different from Arnold.
Okay. All right.
It was shit. He's not just playing Arnold. He seems like he's trying to do something here.
I'll add that to my Amazon Prime queue.
Good, man. Expand your horizons. But yes, I would say for Arnold, what talent, charisma, and balls is like kind of how he got from driving a tank in Austria to being the most famous person in the world, perhaps by 1992 or whatever.
For a decade or two, probably.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I love that, man.
I do too.
He is just...
You talk about like no one believes in, like, I mean, Arnold believed in himself, and there's a lesson we can all learn from that, Kevin.
Yes. Self-belief will can take you a long way, especially if you're willing to work your fucking ass off.
And Arnold did. And
I love his story.
Yeah, it's pretty badass.
You would not believe it. You would not believe it if someone told you the story. You'd be like, no, that can never happen.
No.
Never ever. Anyway, we should move on with the plot of the movie now. Killian tells Richards that, well, we can help each other out. You'll give me ratings and I can help you save your friends' lives here.
Yeah, he tells him he wants Richards to be a contestant on The Running Man. He also reveals he's captured Laughlin and Weiss, and he says if Richards volunteers to go on Running Man, he'll spare them.
Yes.
He has a contract with the government, and they send convicts. He puts them on the show, and if Richards won't go, he'll put Laughlin and Weiss on.
Yeah, it's some bullshit.
So they prep Richards for the show, all sorts of medical things happening, I guess, so that they can be tracked, one assumes.
1 million different injections with 1 million different systems of injecting.
Yeah, no one knows.
There was a weird line one of the medical guys said. He says, "We'll see how far this clown can run when we're done with him." And it's like, are they doping him up? Or are they
I think that means that they can track him.
Are they like doping him down? Ah, yes.
Yeah, I don't know that they're doping him up, or that they're putting some kind of tracking device.
Okay. That makes sense to me.
And then maybe there's some kind of like biometric reader that also takes there.
It's sort of fixed.
Yeah.
They inject him with this radioactive barium, which I think makes it where they can track him. Mm-hmm. It's a Ben Richards tracker.
That's right. And then they gas him because that's how you get a big guy to go to sleep.
Yes.
Back at home, Amber's chilling. Just for the moment, that's what we see. And then Killian shills for a soft drink on a commercial. Cadre Cola. It hits the spot, which is going to be, that's going to come back later. The TV news paints a false picture of what happened at the airport in which Richards killed several civilians. So Amber, seeing that, that the media is not seeing is definitely not believing. The report says that Richards killed a couple of folks, and she begins to realize that maybe the system's lying.
She says, but that's not true. It's like, thanks, Amber.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Now, they say that the head, like the security guard and the ticket security or whatever were killed. Do you think those guys were really killed by the government?
Correct. ICS.
Do you think because they let him slip through?
Correct. And because they needed bodies to be for Richards to be responsible for.
Okay.
And then we cut to a fake TV show that's very Verhoeven, climbing for dollars, which is awesome.
Yeah, these dogs are like trying to attack this guy as he's climbing a rope and trying to collect money.
I love it.
But again, I mean, this shit feels like frighteningly real.
Yeah, it feels like something that you would see on network TV now.
Oh yeah, people would gobble that shit up if that was on television.
We cut then to Richard's court appointed theatrical agent tells him that it's showtime. The concept is great. The nation stops to watch as the Running Man show starts. We get a very prolonged show open, which begs the question again, why couldn't we have learned what happened to Edward instead of getting the Laker girls? I love that Paula Abdul did all this choreography. That's badass. That's awesome. There's so much dancing. This goes on for several minutes.
I will say, I mean, I enjoyed watching it because these Laker girls had it going on.
They've got skill, baby. It's awesome.
But it was very long in a movie that's only 93 minutes long. Yeah. That's a lot of dancing.
We get a glimpse of Buzzsaw, played by Gus Rethwich, who arrives and picks up a motorcycle over his head for no discernible reason.
He just hoists it up there. Yeah, I'm like, okay, he's strong.
He's very strong. That's what you do.
The crowd, though, was loving it.
Eating it up. We see crowds of people on the streets of L.A. watching the show on these massive screens. And then we cut to the ICS offices where Amber's with a coworker at the vending machine as Richards is walked past in shackles with his agent, who's reading through the contract, and Arnold gives her that like bug-eyed stare down.
He does. He gives her the evil eye, basically, or like.
And then we get this weird bit with the coworker where you're lucky he didn't kill you, or rape you and kill you, or kill you then rape you. And this bit is so weird.
I got notes, man.
She's talking like she's into it or something.
I say like I don't know if we can leave this in the podcast, but she seemed actively turned on by the thought of Richards taking her by force.
There's a word for that.
Okay.
Or a word when like all this stuff, there's been like a rush of Ted Bundy movies and documentaries lately. And even in the Ted Bundy trials and stuff, like all these women were like fawning over Ted Bundy, and he was so attractive. And the word is hybristophilia, and it's where a woman is attracted to a serial killer. And it's sort of what this woman is, where she's like attracted to the idea of his strength and he's good looking, but then the idea that he's also a killer is for whatever reason exciting to you sexually.
Yeah, it's kind of dark and twisted. I don't want to make light of it, but it was you can't ignore it.
No, it's gross. And the way that actress did it was exactly like watching those interviews from bygone days of these women being like turned on by Ted Bundy. It's very sick. Amber gets skittish and bails on her friend. And Damon Killian comes on the air, and with all of the gusto a body can muster, buddy, it's showtime. Everyone is eating it up. What's the #1 television show in the whole wide world?
Yeah,
Running Man, baby.
Running Man.
And who loves you? And who do you love? Damon. It's so good. He is killing it. I love that we cut to Richard signing his contract on his agent's back, and then fucking stabbing the dude in the back with the pen. Don't forget to send me a copy.
That dude was a scumbag, though.
Richard's has got jokes. Don't forget to send me a copy.
Oh man, on the set, Killian is talking to Mrs. McCardle, who's like a top groupie. He goes to kiss her with that classic Richard Dawson style, and he's like, "No tongues." It's like so gross.
I like that they're making a joke of it though. Like they're making, it's like he never kisses with tongue. He's into that lip to lip contact. As Richards is introduced, they run a doctored version of the opening scene in which Richards delights in killing the innocent civilians. And
where did this footage come from?
I feel like this is the origin of the deep fake, Kevin.
Okay.
Like the current technology of the deep fake. I mean,
it's the same footage we saw in the open of the movie, but does the government have cameras mounted throughout the helicopters that they're flying? I'm just like saying, where did this shit come from?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they probably do.
So you think it's a fully fabricated... They use the audio only.
I feel like they probably do have cameras mounted everywhere, because I feel like everything that happens is then put on TV to be sensationalized or lied about. So it would not surprise me at all if they took whatever footage, because they want to keep track of all of their soldiers at all times, and then doctored it to look like whatever they wanted to happen. Apparently, in reality, the footage of helicopters flying around was outtakes from the 1976 King Kong movie. With Jeff Bridges and that's badass. What was the other not Susan Sarandon? It was Jessica Lange. Jessica Lange. She was beautiful in that movie. Finest, she was gorgeous. That's a big discrepancy. Like 11 years later, though, between the movies, like you would think the quality of the film, I think, looked a little different, a little worse for wear. Not necessarily, baby. Richards is brought out in fatigues and then stripped down to a badass old school Adidas spandex bodysuit. Yeah, I want that. Would you wear that? Fuck yeah, I would wear that. Oh, I'd wear it right now out to the bar. Hello, and ladies. Dude, the dancers, the Running Man dancers were like all over him. Yeah, they're like moving around provocatively and stripping him down and like their legs being kicked and scissors things. And I don't even know. Killian says that Richards volunteered to be here for the chance to win such fabulous prizes as a trial by jury, a suspended sentence, or full pardon. That's amazing. It's so good. I love the dude that plays the announcer, plays like the Johnny role. Like, it's so good. The satire in this movie is good. Oh, it's fantastic. It's the production value and the execution is maybe a little bit cheap or cheesy or whatever, but maybe the subject matter is strong. Yeah, it's excellent. The guy also talks about Whitman, Price, and Haddad, previous contestants who made it out and were now living it up on the beach in freedom. We see then a suspicious Amber sneaking into an ICS office momentarily, with an immediate cut back to the studio where Killian turns out was fucking with Richards and reveals that Laughlin and Weiss are still going to be forced to compete. In the background, you can hear Killian saying that the game will be played over 400 ruined city blocks left over from the earthquake of 97. Contestants have 3 hours to go through the 4 game quadrants, and our buddies, the stalkers, will be on their tails, and anything goes.
It is so awkward the way they've got them sort of strapped into these like sleds, or something that they're like dangling forward. It
looks very, very uncomfortable, and it sort of makes it
up. Yeah,
it looks. You always hear about like crucifixions in the Roman Empire. Like one of the big things about being strung up naked like that was for, to be humiliated in addition to the bodily harm. And that's sort of what this reminded me of. It's like these guys in this very vulnerable, like hunched over position. It looks like they're going to fall out of these things. But then Killian drops like the game time line. It's time to start running.
Now, is this when
this is where Richards gives this awesome line.
Oh my gosh, my guy Arnold, he says, "Killian, I'll be back."
Only in a rerun. And then they are literally launched into the game.
Yeah. The production value on this movie is not good.
It's not. And then we cut back to ICS office space where Amber is seen rooting through files, and I wish that I had time to tell you what she finds, but there's no time.
That's true. And there is still so much more Running Man to talk about, but we just do not have the time right now, you guys. So we'll be back.